Is there anything more annoying in Pokemon than roaming legendaries? I mean, sure, there's para-hacks and crits, but roaming legendaries? These guys hop all around the map, showing up in different areas all the time. They're nearly impossible to track down, and when you do somehow happen upon one, it'll probably run away or roar at you, and then you gotta track it down again, and it's halfway across the continent because it can teleport!
They were introduced in Gen 2 with the legendary dogs. These guys were echoes of the legendary birds of Kanto. You know what was cool about those birds? They gave you a stand-up fight. They didn't run away when you found them. That was until Gen 6 when they turned them into roaming legendaries too.
Come on, Japan, what are you doing? So two iconic trios of elemental monsters from two classic generations, it only makes sense that we reach the logical question that all Pokemon eventually boils down to. Who would win in a fight? And no, we're not talking about some wet behind the ears, greenhorn 9-year-old who just got their hands on their first 3DS and they're battling on Wi-Fi Battle Spot with their team of a legendary trio and 3 Mewtwo's. No, we're talking about a wild encounter between the legendary birds and the legendary dogs. Natural, that means no trainer assistance, no items, and no TMs.
And because we think it's fun, we'll be matching each of the monsters up against their counterpart. Zapdos vs Raikou, Moltres vs Entei, and Articuno against Suicune.
I'm the MC Koi.
I'm Robert from When Pigs Fly.
Now with all that out of the way, let's dive right into round number 1 and see who wins a fight between Articuno and Suicune. So let's start off with type. Suicune's pure water type, and Articuno is dual type Ice and Flying. That's a pretty solid matchup. When a Pokemon uses an attack that's the same type as their own, it's called a stab attack. Same type attack boost. This means the attack gets 1.5 times multiplier. So in simpler terms, if a water type uses a water type move, it's like they use that move 1.5 times. So it's a little bit stronger. Stab attacks are important and they're what you want on your Pokemon.
So wait, it's stabbing the Pokemon?
No. This is a kid's game. So Suicune can hit Articuno neutrally with its stab attacks, which is pretty good. Articuno can't hit Suicune super effectively with its ice moves because water resists ice. However, it could hit neutrally with its flying type attacks. So yeah, this is a pretty solid balance here. So neither one really gets too much of an edge on the other, though Suicune's water typing does render a lot of Articuno's move pool impractical. So technically speaking, I think Suicune does have the better typing in this matchup. Now let's talk stats.
So the main focus with these two is defense. Both are pretty bulky, but Suicune has more balanced defenses and health than Bluebird over here. But Articuno has more special defense, which is what Suicune's going to be throwing at him anyway. These two also share an 85 base speed stat, meaning that it's pretty much up in the air for whoever gets to attack first in battle.
So the 3 dogs, Suicune, Entei, and Raikou, each have access to a move called Calm Mind. Calm Mind boosts the special defense and special attack of a Pokemon by 1 each time it's used. All of the birds, on the other hand, have access to a move called Roost. Now, Roost is kinda cool. Not only does it restore half of the Pokemon's maximum HP every time it gets used, but if it's used first in a turn, it will take away the Pokemon's flying typing for the rest of that turn. Meaning that if Articuno, an Ice flying type, were to use Roost first in a round, it would become a pure Ice type for the rest of the round, whatever Suicune throws at it. Now, all that's done. Let's do this. Suicune, Articuno, let's keep going. Here's the thing about Suicune. He is a special attacker. The majority of his move pool is special, all of his stab moves are special, he's got Rain Dance to boost his special water attacks, and it can buff itself using Calm Mind. That's pretty effective, but also really, really specialized. Really, its best course of action is to throw up Rain, Calm Mind a couple times, and then try and Hydro Pump Articuno into oblivion. And what can Articuno do?
Articuno is a special defense machine. This thing is going to be hard for Suicune to get damage on, and with Roost it will be able to recover any health it may have lost. I mean, heck, if Bluebird uses Agility, it'll be faster than the dog for the rest of the match, meaning that every time it roosts, it'll lose its flying type, and Suicune's ice moves like Aurora Beam and Blizzard won't do a thing.
Yeah, but speaking of useless ice moves, what can Articuno do with its stab ice?
You know, you're right. Water types resist ice moves, all except for one. Articuno has access to a move called Freeze Dry.
Oh, you're right! Okay, Freeze Dry is awesome! This is an ice move that was specifically designed to take down water types. Instead of being resisted, Freeze Dry is actually treated like a super effective hit against a water type. So let's do some math.
A super effective hit is a ×2 multiplier on a move, and a stab move is a 1.5 times multiplier. So 70 base power ×2 is 140, plus the 70 times 1.5 from the stab boost, and you end up with a move that has a base total
of 175 power. So yeah, ouch.
Not gonna want that hitting you in the face.
What?
starting to really regret having you on here.
Me too.
Let's move on. If that weren't enough for you, Articuno has a brutal last resort up its sleeve. Our frozen friend can use an instant KO move called Sheer Cold. Now because of the way that Sheer Cold works, at a level 100 battle between these two things in the wild, it would only have an accuracy of 30%. So yeah, not that great a chance of hitting. But if it did hit, it would immediately knock out Suicune. Articuno has access to a move called Mind Reader. When it uses Mind Reader, its next attack will absolutely hit its target. So if you give Articuno 2 moves, it's going to freeze Suicune solid. Overall, Suicune just takes too long to set up, and Articuno's like a castle wall that can keep rebuilding itself. It's bulky enough to take Suicune's hits for a while, and it can fix itself up with Roost whenever it takes damage. Add on Freeze Dry and its Sheer Cold, and it's got some pretty awesome weapons to fire back with.
Round 1 goes to the Bird of Blizzards, Articuno.
So, we've seen water, but what about fire?
It's time to pit Moltres against Entei and see which one can take the heat.
It's Moltres.
What? But I love Entei. Entei's design, the way he was in that movie, he's so cool.
Moltres wins. Entei has no chance. Moving on.
Well, hold on. We gotta at least explain this, for the people at home.
Fine. Okay, so it's like this. Both these Pokemon are fire type, which means that none of their stab moves are going to be super effective on the other one. Moltres gets the edge here because at least his flying type will give him neutral stab.
But Entei has a 115 attack stat, and he's faster than Moltres.
Yeah, he's a heavy hitter. That doesn't count for anything when his only naturally learned physical moves are Stomp, Bite, and 2 fire moves. Besides, Moltres could just use agility and be faster than Entei.
What if Entei uses Fire Plume on his first move? I mean, it does 150 damage when he's at full health.
It's nothing Moltres couldn't heal with a Roost. And it can roost twice as many times as Smokey the Bear over there can fire off a Lava Plume. Plus Moltres has a trump card with the move Ancient Power. It's a rock type move that only has a base 60, but you gotta remember, it's gonna be super effective, so it does 120 base damage against Entei. Plus, Ancient Power has a chance of boosting all of Moltres' stats at once, and if that happens, it's just gonna make it a faster death. Sorry, but I know Entei is really awesome, and with a trainer to teach him the Stone Edge TM, he would have been a huge threat to the Flying Barbecue. But in the wild, with only naturally learned moves, he just doesn't have an answer for Moltres.
Fine. Round 2 goes to the Fire Chicken.
It's okay. Round 3, final. Don't. So, 2 fights down, 2 bird victories. Let's see who's the real master of storms in the battle between Zapdos and Raikou.
Okay, so how do we even start with these two?
Well, we'll start with typing and just go from there.
I know, but this fight is just so...
I know. I was there when we were researching it, but we got to put one foot in front of the other. This is a long fight.
So Zapdos and Raikou are both electric-type Pokemon. For once, though, the flying type on Zapdos is a hindrance in this fight.
Well, sort of. Zapdos having flying type means that Raikou's electric attacks will actually be neutrally effective, while Zapdos can only do stab flying moves against Raikou. It's kind of like Moltres vs Entei again, except this time Raikou has more of an edge. Both of these Pokemon are built similarly. Both are very fast and very specially offensive. That said, they're both really frail too, meaning it won't take much to best them. Zapdos could theoretically be beaten by some of Raikou's strong electrical attacks due to his dual typing and relatively low special defenses. But Raikou could get bodied by a stab drill peck or two from Zapdos. Sure, it wouldn't one-shot him, but a continued assault could bring the cat down.
Ah, but Raikou has an answer to that. He has Reflect, which is a move that cuts all damage done to him in half for 5 turns. That means Drill Peck essentially loses its stab boost. On top of that, Raikou has access to Calm Mind, meaning that while its physical is covered by Reflect, it could make itself stronger against special attacks and power up its own special attacks. That means, given enough time, it could have a fully boosted Thunder attack, plus it has Rain Dance, meaning Thunder would never miss. Bye-bye birdie if that ever happens.
Let's not forget that Zapdos also has Agility and Roost too. It could get faster than Raikou and then get rid of its flying typing by using Roost.
Doesn't matter if Raikou can last long enough to max out its specials.
Zapdos could block it with Detect though. Thunder can't get through that move.
Yeah, but Woody the Woodpecker could only use Detect 5 times. The Raikou can use Thunder 10 times.
Yeah, but Raikou has no recovery moves. This is a war of attrition. It comes down to either Zapdos can whittle down Raikou fast enough to save itself, or Raikou powers up his special beam cannon enough to wipe him out in one hit before he can recover.
man, this is close.
It's a raging storm with no end in sight! I mean, just... the research we've done is... Oh, wait. Dude, we missed something.
Oh no.
Yeah, Zapdos gets light screen. Zapdos takes this.
So Sam, why don't you tell the people what light screen is?
So for those of you who don't know, light screen is the special equivalent of reflect. Instead of having all physical damage taken for 5 turns, it halves all special damage. With the right combination of light screen, detect, and strategic roosting, Zapdos will be able to withstand any kind of thunder attacks that Raikou throws at it until eventually it runs out of PP. Now this is the longest and most complex possible scenario by far. But Zapdos having light screen takes away that one major advantage that Raikou had to bring it down. Plus, along with moves like charge, it can boost its own special defenses to keep up with the boost in special attack. But Raikou can't build up its defenses any more than just using Reflect over and over again. And really, that just takes away the stab boost. So Zapdos can keep up with Raikou's damage increases and even heal some of its battle moves. Raikou can't build up its own physical defenses any more than just throwing up Reflect over and over again. And it has to deal with any battle damage it takes.
Yep, no matter what way you slice it, this battle goes to the birds.
Wow, I can't believe how long this battle was.
Yeah, and it's interesting that all of the birds were able to overpower the dogs.
You know, I think that flying typing is actually more of a help to these things than anything else. I mean, sure, Zapdos had a weakness from it with the electrical counterpart, but it was just enough with moves like Roost for recovery and those speed boosts through agility for them to win.
Yeah, and along with the flying type, you get all of their special moves, which none of the dogs are resistant to in any way. Them stab bonuses and no deficit when they're attacking.
Yeah, so it's interesting how a dual typing can really give you the edge in a fight like this. And while we love the dogs a lot, it's kind of cool to see that Kanto still had a lot of power up its sleeve.
Yeah, I mean overall this was a lot of fun, really interesting fight, and in a way I am glad that one team took it all, you know? I mean it makes more sense that way in some respect.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, hey Robert, wanna go battle? I've got all the birds on my team.
Oh man, I have all the dogs.
Alright, thank you very much for watching. I'm Sam McCoy, the MC Coy.
And I'm Robert Pigza from When Pigs Fly.
And we'll see you later.
Bye!
I did it! It's done! Finally, the sequel to Mewtwo vs. Lugia. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching this end slate, you made it all the way through the video, or you skipped to the end just to see who would win, but you know, whatever, I don't judge. Hope you had a lot of fun watching this. I had a lot of fun making it. I want to thank my buddy Robert for appearing in the video with me. So if you want to check him out, click right here. If you want to see something else that Robert and I made together, check out this video right here where we talk about everything you need to know concerning zombies. Because obviously, I just like to scientifically break down everything that doesn't exist. I try not to go too long between posting videos, so if you like this video, stick around. We'll have some fun in the future. So that's all for me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!